So it's my first day here at the Tampa RV show. Of course, it's cold and rainy. I think you guys brought this down from Indiana.
Sorry about that.
And we are going to take a look at this. This is the Momentum 414M. Now the M class is a little bit different than the TH class. There's only two THs right now, right? The 410 and the
397.
And the 397. Yeah. And this is the 414, and I'm really interested in showing you guys this floor plan because it's really cool. It's kind of what we were going for in the 410, the big open plan and the L-shaped sofa.
Sure.
So that's going to be really cool. But can you tell me a little bit about what the difference is between an M class and a TH?
Yeah, sure thing. They're actually really pretty close. The major differences at this time are going to be your drop frame. So your 410 TH and the other TH
giant storage.
Yeah, they have that full 12-inch drop, so you're going to get more height, certainly more storage in that basement area. You are going to get an upgraded countertop in your bathroom as well, so you'll go into a solid surface.
Okay.
And then ultimately the bedroom TV. Those are the major differences.
No,
yeah.
I noticed this had the smaller Max Air fan and not the main Max Air fan.
Sure, that's correct.
Some small differences like that. But man, this thing is beautiful.
Thank you.
I love this full body paint. I've already done a little sneak peek on this, and I've seen some of the things that we're going to do per usual. We're going to start over on the business side, kind of circle around the outside, and then go take a look inside.
Awesome.
Let's head over here.
Let's do it.
So this is a...
So you're 22.5 on the GVWR.
22.5?
Yeah.
22.5 on the GVWR, which gives it, what's the dry weight?
16, well here, typically it's 16.8.
So 22.5, what changed to make, because I know a lot of the M class and the THs were 20K max. Yeah. So what's the difference now?
Ultimately, between the lines, we were trying to see symmetry, and now we're not using more ride pin boxes or an upgraded 24K pin box on our M class and TH, and now every one of our fifth wheels from G class all the way up to TH is using a 24K pin box. Here, that was really the link in the chain.
When you say the pin box, you're talking about the actual
Correct,
box?
Absolutely.
Not the pin itself,
correct.
Custom Ride.
So, well, no, but the pins that we were using were 21K pin boxes, even the Rhino box that we were using on M class. And so we were giving ourselves a little bit of room from the 20K to the 21. So once we went to 24K pin boxes, so it would be a Rotoflex pin box in our G class fifth wheels, and then on M class and TH, we were using a More Ride 24K pin box.
Cool, cool.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's a whole lot different over here. We've got the typical Suburban furnace. We've got the Furrion. That's the 60K BTU like we had retrofitted on ours.
Correct.
You guys have not seen our retrofits yet, but you're going to see some of them today.
Yeah.
One is that guy right there. And over here we've got the Nautilus system, which I love.
Yeah, we've also added the ice maker shutoff on here, as you can see as well. So we moved some stuff down. You'll also notice some of the brass fittings that we're using nearly everywhere in this unit.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's clear, so you can see how gross it is now. And you know, for an M class though, I do see quite a bit of storage, more than I've seen in previous years. And I also noticed a double front door up there, which we'll get to in a second. This one does have two dump ports, I assume, because I saw a rear bath option in this one. And I don't see anything else. Lippert 6-point auto level. I did notice this fancy little doodad. So it looks like pretty much the same functionality, just a digital pad.
Yes, sir.
And of course, it's all controllable through the one control system, just like ours is.
Yes, sir.
2 30-pound propane tanks.
Correct. That has not changed.
And I like this. Sneak peek on one of our retrofits. This has the ultimate lithium package, right?
Yes, Extreme Lithium package from Future Solutions. Yep.
Extreme, not ultimate. Okay. And this is really cool. This folds up in there and it's completely out of the way. And you can see we've got dual 3K inverters in here. And any other specs on this?
So a couple other specs would be you've got two 50 amp charge controllers as well. And then you've got your two 400 amp hour batteries that do have battery management systems in them. They've got built-in heat, but everything in this system is made by TBB. So everything communicates great. You've probably had some time to mess with it as well. It is a really, really awesome system. What's also new and on this unit versus where we were at a couple years ago is our MPS Yamaha generator. So the 6K generator is a bit new for us. Great system. You know, it's got the inverter technology, so it delivers clean power to the unit. It's got a remote start.
So of course we've got our pass-through storage on this side. See, this one has the slide toppers. I like that it's got the lights under the slide or under the awnings like ours does.
Yeah, so nice when they're closed, you're still getting light in your campsite.
Does this come with the outdoor TV?
It is an optional, but we are building nearly everything with that.
Yeah. Let's go in. This is the exciting part. But we're going to
Awesome.
start in the bedroom, which is still good, but it's not as exciting as the living room. But you'll see what I mean. No, this is pretty much just like our 3
It is very close. Washer, dryer, prep up in the middle. You've got those shelves that are easily able to move, take out if you don't need them. So you can put your stackable his and her wardrobes on both sides. You know, we added that headboard up there. So the headboard's pretty neat because
I saw that. Flip up.
It flips down nicely. You know, looks great, but let's just say you want to put your phone or something like that under it. You can certainly do so. You've also got your USB and USB-C down here. The other thing that we have done, if you need some additional, you know, space to store your things, are these CPAP trays. So whether you're using them for CPAPs or for, you know, books or drinks or anything like that, they fold out nicely.
Oh, that is cool.
But the other thing that we have done since yours is we have made this a sliding dresser top.
That's
where
nice
I believe
versus a flip up.
yeah, so you can keep your things on here still pulled out, not have to take anything off. And then, you know, we had the toe kick that was just hiding some space down in the bottom. Now you can just slide your shoes under there nicely.
I like that.
Just utilizing some of that space.
So up here is pretty much standard like we have, but it is a ton of space. So you've got 2 giant wardrobes on each side. All right, in the bathroom, the ensuite, got double entry doors here so you can enter from the bedroom or from the hallway here.
Couple new things in here. We're still making sure that we actually build our showers down into the floor, so you actually pick up a little bit of height coming from the floor here into the shower. You're over 6'5" up to the ceiling height, and then you pick up additional height as well in the skylight. But a nice one-piece fiberglass shower, you know, just to minimize opportunity for water finding its way anywhere. The other thing too is you've got, you know, certainly your medicine cabinet, but you've got your deeper linen storage where we utilize some of that space out in the kitchen. And then also new in our recent product is our hair accessory drawer. So like, you know, often toy haulers are challenged with, you know, counter space and things like that in your lab. And we wanted to make sure, you know, for anyone who maybe has a hair straightener or something like that, I would know nothing about it. But certainly they stay warm, so you can use these little metal cups, and there's a plug as well, so you can put them in and shut them away nicely and not take up, you know, the limited space that we typically have in this segment. So a little over a year ago, we started with our smart sink. Really, really cool feature. Typically, you know, you have a deep basin sink and, you know, some countertop that, you know, sits on the insert, and that's about the end of it. We decided to step up to the smart sink, which does a lot for us. You know, if you do need this extra counter space, you can utilize the built-in cutting board, but you know, you could cut your you know, veggies, you can put them in the built-in colander here, turn this to the right, and the waterfall rinse is down into the colander as well. Here, nice. This is your drain function, but if you go to the right, you're using the waterfall. If you go to the left, you're using your faucet overhead, which pulls out, extends. You also have a spray. You've got built-in soap dispenser. Like that. You know, for the folks that are conserving water a little bit more, you've got a little smaller basin here that you can use a little bit less water to, you know, fill up and do your soap and clean and stuff like that, and then rinse over here. All of our units now are utilizing a pull-out trash can under the sink. So nice. Super nice feature here. Just keeping it in the same place, but still having, you know, plenty of useful storage below. Tons of useful storage above. We've also added new GE appliances this year, as you can see. So we've got our 24-inch oven with our 4-burner cooktop. Another couple new features that we've added as well is our charge drawer. You've got a USB and USB-C in there, as well as a couple 110 outlets. You might be saying, what about pantry space? Check this out. I got to back up here because that thing is giant. Now this is a giant refrigerator from Norfold. Is this DC? So yeah, this is a 12-volt refrigerator. All of our units now in M-Class and TH come with the 20, the 20 cube, and then we have the 16 in our G-Class fifth wheels as well. This unit's also going to have a built-in ice maker, which you saw the shut-off. I saw it in there too. But this is the part that I think is really unique, and that's this living area. I mean, look how big this thing is. It's so difficult in a toy hauler to get communal space, which is what we were trying to do in the 410 also, but this thing has really done it very, very well. Yeah, a couple new features here. So This is our new furniture that we introduced at Open House this year. We still have, lighted cup holders. You've got a USB charge, but any piece that doesn't have the armrests actually folds down, and you've got your cup rests here with, again, USB, USB-C, and 110. Absolutely.
Look at that.
Cup holders get tricky, but yeah, so you've got another place to put your drink if you need one for, the corner rest. The other cool thing is when you're laid back, and you want a little neck support, you don't have a pillow, we also have a pivoting headrest as well.
That's nice. So, main AC, is that typically a heat pump also?
That is where the heat pump will be added, absolutely.
Awesome. And over here, 55?
That is a 50.
50.
And then
close.
Your Rockford head unit, your main head unit hidden away there, so it gives you access to your outside speakers if you don't have the stage 2.
Lots of storage up here. Fireplace down here. Anything on this side? Just
more storage.
More storage. So we're here in the garage, and one thing you can see that's different is this guy right here. So this is how you get into the loft now.
Yep, we have a retractable ladder.
A retractable ladder. Oh, is that the one I saw in the basement?
Yeah, you saw that up front.
That's nice. Does it have hooks on this?
It does.
That's sweet. So, we use this for storage. So this is actually pretty well set up now for either. I think it's kind of cool because if you are going to use it as a bunk, you're not having to enter from the end and crawl your way down like you're in a tunnel.
The other thing too is like, say you're using it for storage and only storage. Now you can go up into the middle, reach over to the left side or reach to the right. So same concept. You're not having to crawl up all the way into the back to get your things. I'm sure you developed some kind of new nifty thing for that.
No, I just crawl.
Yeah, nice.
But the really big changes are over here. Now this is the Lippert, no.
It's the Lippert P2K bed system.
But it's called, we're calling it the Momentum Bed Suite.
The Lift Suite.
I can't mess it up.
That's all right.
So the Momentum Lift Suite. You guys developed this in conjunction with Lippert, and you guys are the only one that have this.
Yes, for a toy hauler right now we are, yeah.
So this is what's cool about this. Check this out. So these things normally take a while to come down. Look how fast that is.
It's awesome.
And I thought that maybe, well, that's weird. It's swinging from seat belts.
Is it swinging? Let's try.
No. That's just it. Exactly. It doesn't swing, and that is all just. Oh, so you have it on both sides. You've got some stabilization things there.
Yep. So there's a track on both sides.
So that is really cool, and I think what that gives you also is the ability to have lights.
Yeah. The other thing too is by utilizing that one track in the back, we're able to put these giant windows. So if you're in a situation where you're not wanting to use all of your battery power, you have tons of natural light. I mean, we turn the lights off in here right now. It's a pretty cloudy day. It's still going to feel pretty bright back here with these huge windows. Yeah,
that's the big thing too. Without the Happy Jack mechanisms on the walls, that leaves it wide open for these windows. It's so different back here.
So we include these hooks so you can utilize that little ladder that retracts. You can go from here. So since it's retractable, you can utilize it for here, but also you could just step right up on these benches too.
Yeah, I don't think I took this down all the way. Yep. This thing goes down.
Yeah, we rate it for 800 pounds when it's in its static position here, not moving.
So what else? Now, these are Moride, you said, these benches?
Yeah, so Moride made these benches for us, but you'll have our smaller 11-foot garages will have a 40-inch bench, and then our bigger garages will typically have a 70-inch bench.
These are 70?
Yeah, these are 70. So with the exception of the new 392, where that gets 2 sets of 40-inch benches, but you've got your cushions that utilize magnets back here so that we've got EGS backers into the wall. So these will actually fit in and not, go bouncing around. But you've got your cushion, you've got a little lumbar support, which this cushion actually pairs up with the other lumbar cushion so that when we make a bed, you can, lay these cushions all the way across, and those center lumbar cushions come together to make a bed all the way across. So you're nearly
that's nice.
96 inches by 70 inches this way in these larger beds. And then on the smaller ones, you're going to be 96 to 40. So if you have a bunch of kids, you can line them up, this way lengthwise.
Yeah, that's a lot.
But certainly it's a big space. And then up top, you have a true 60 by 80 queen.
So what kind of conversion process do we have for these guys?
Yeah, we can, let's just show it off. We have these tables that come stored in between, and these will come out. we tested these to some pretty high weight ratings. We
so
just stopped at some point, but you've got nice little tables that, let's just say you're not using this for a bed. Go ahead and take them out by the campsite and just have tables that you can put things on. But
it's about the right height for a little coffee table, fire pit coffee table.
So you would throw your seat cushion back in, and then you would take your back cushion. So that actually lays down in so it's flat. And then if you had them both out, which would you like me to put them both out, Chad?
No.
Yeah, but this would pair up right with this cushion, and this
like a double
bed
wedge.
sits here, and that's your bed. It lays flat all the way across. There's a lot of ways that you could use this space, so you can set it up to be a huge bed all the way across, or I could see a situation where I just lay on that seat and not even put the tables out even. Like, there's quite a bit of room. The other cool thing, Chad, is you can take this off, and this makes into more of a desk.
Nice.
So now you have, a tool bench, or, you could set, food out here if you're using this as an entertainment space. You've got an outlet here so you can plug your computer in. We've heard of some folks already taking this and extending this piece a little bit, or contracting, or putting a piece on here that allows it to be a little bit deeper so they can make it more of a desk.
Or if you're like us and we work out of our RV full time, so we would need desks. The nice thing about this thing is it takes away the Happy Jack stuff. So if you wanted to just leave this empty and put your own desks in here or whatever. I mean, that's always been kind of one of the draws of a toy hauler, is you can make this room anything you want.
Absolutely.
If you want a craft room and you want to use these, or you want to take them off and build your own whole thing back here, with this already out of the way and only down when you need it, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, even if you are using it and you're trying to create the space to, bring your motorcycle or your side-by-side in, it completely goes away here.
So the other thing I noticed is down here on the floor, I don't see any D-rings.
Yeah.
Explain.
Yeah, so new for us, starting around the open house time frame. So if you see this P2K bed lift, you'll see in an M-Class or a TH our L-Track system. So we will ship this with heavy-duty adjustable rings that you can, just use them wherever it makes sense for you with whatever you're putting back here. I mean, that's the great thing is if you needed to move a ring a couple inches, it's no big deal. You're not just specifically tied to where we have them. So you'll have a track that runs all the way down the left, the center, and as far as possible behind the bathroom here. But in addition to, we'll run an additional track on the ends of the beaver tail back here. We also ship them with these inserts because we know that certainly there's an opportunity for dirt, mud, things like that to get in here.
Before we head to the patio, it looks like there's a toolbox down there. Is that what that is? Or a little storage area?
Yeah, it is our beaver tail storage box. So it is huge. It is the biggest door that I have seen in this segment. It nearly widens all the way up to the I-beams.
Have you checked how many beaver tails it holds?
I haven't, but what's really interesting? There may or may not be a video of me coming out of that thing.
What can you fit in here?
Man, I've heard you can fit a Chase booth in here.
You can fit a Chase booth in here?
A Chase booth?
Let's check it out.
Oh!
Like, I will fit in that box. I'm not a large human, but it's a good size.
So we've changed the rail system, it looks like, in the deck. What's different back here?
So it's a 0G more ride ramp door that has hidden hinges back here. So as you can see, this is where the assist comes from down here.
Right.
Cables help us support it in a patio package, but this is the more ride rail kit. Still have your Thule awning over the top with the light.
So that is it. This is the 2025 Grand Design Momentum 414M. Did I get that right?
You got it right. That was a long one.
It's always tough to say those things. Thank you so much. Per usual, we'll have links down below. If you haven't already, please subscribe and click that like button if you haven't. And we'll see you next time.